Whew. All right. Might have to take a sip of coffee before we start this one.
It ain't gonna help. America's doomed.
Well, that's what it looked like, judging from what we just seen from the debate. Now, as we all know, this is something that a lot of people have been looking forward to. Most Americans have been looking forward to. And it's definitely something Donald Trump was looking forward to.
I wasn't looking forward to this.
He was dominating. But yeah, I think, it just depends on what side of the fence you're on. Because on one side, people see what's going on. Like, you see Joe Biden, and you really don't want to, admit to yourself that this guy, he is in decline.
I am not going to be in denial. Like, this is the man that's running the country.
Yeah.
And he can barely walk.
Yeah.
He is not there.
Right, exactly.
He's shuffling to the microphone then spacing out.
Right.
Like every 5 seconds.
But
it
the
is
thing
scary.
is that when we watch clips of him online or when he's doing a speech or something, there's always an excuse. They're like, oh, he was tired, or oh, he lost balance, or oh, he did this.
No, he's old.
And so with the
incoherent.
debate, it was like on full display. You couldn't hide it. You couldn't, because he was just there.
Let me tell you something. I don't know who been saying what, but Joe Biden has not been hiding it well at all.
Well, what I'm saying is,
even
like, the publicists,
debate,
they'll always make
I don't
excuses.
care. They make excuses.
Yeah.
I still know what I see.
Yeah.
And my eyes do not deceive
Right.
me. It's no different than when my granddaddy was at my graduation falling asleep.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, there's like a lot of gaslighting, because you're like, oh no, he did not say something coherent, and then the publicists come on, and then it'll be like, oh no, he meant to say this, or he did this, and so it's gaslighting to a lot of
the American people.
There are a lot of American people that are out here that are fooled.
I think maybe, but for the most part, I think people on both sides of the fence, whether you're Republican or Democratic, you see what's going on. There ain't no fooling people, whether you're on a different side of the fence. The facts are the facts.
Right.
And Joe Biden, he is not mentally apt to run this country.
Yeah.
And so it's like, these are the choices that we have.
Right, exactly.
And I am scared because he might get voted back into the presidency.
He might get what?
He might get voted back into the presidency. And the thing is, you have to ask yourself, are you really voting him in, or are you voting Kamala Harris in? Because no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, like, this man is not stable enough to run this country. I don't care what side of the fence you're on.
I think somebody was making the comparison with Weekend at Bernie's. Now, I know you haven't seen that movie, but basically what the movie is about is this boss, he invites two of his employees to his vacation home or whatever. When they go pick him up, he died. And so they still want to have a vacation and party. And so they take his body and they, like, pretend he's alive.
Oh my God.
And then they, like, parade him around and everything. Like, he's still alive.
And
so nobody knew he was really dead. Not saying that, Joe Biden is dead, but
wow.
Still, But anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to watch some of the highlights from the presidential debate. And, I don't know. Just brace yourself.
I, for the most part, I think everybody sees what's happening.
Yeah.
And
especially foreign countries.
I mean, yeah, but for the American people, like, it's more than being a Republican and being a Democrat. It's about the welfare of this country as a whole.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And
absolutely.
I think with that, all of us can unite behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out.
It's not funny, but you laughing.
It's not funny at all.
What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
I seen this last night, and I was like, they're fighting over golf.
Yes.
It's like kids. I can I can dunk the ball better than you, and
But it's like people can't afford groceries.
yeah, they're talking about their handicap in golf. And it was very sobering to listen to this last night. It really was.
8.
Never.
This is so childish.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay,
Let's
let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
turn.
Let's not act like children.
Will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely.
You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically.
He encouraged those folks who grew up on Capitol Hill. The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted.
Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success.
The idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply...
Babe, what did I tell you? I told you if Donald Trump gets voted into office, he is going to go after everyone who was against him. He is just going to clear out those spaces, and they're shaking right now. They're afraid. They know retribution. I mean, he said he wants vengeance.
He didn't say he wants vengeance, did he?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, he wants revenge. You know, he wants revenge for the people who prosecuted him, who made him go through the whole rigmarole with the courts, everything. Dude, he's gunning for them, and they know it.
Wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things? Of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Your answer?
He said you got the morals of an alley cat.
So it's funny how Joe Biden is kind of scolding him, you know, and that's, you know, the Joe Biden that we want to see, somebody who's very sharp and witty, but at the same time, you know,
he's still not sharp and witty.
He's
maybe
still,
a slight moment of clarity.
Yeah, he was having like moments.
Barely, because I mean, still the way he's talking is not very cohesive.
Yeah,
it's like he's still like slurring over his words a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, can we get like a Gen Xer in office? You know,
well,
I think this is like a clown show.
It is a clown show. This is terrible.
This is our choice.
Between everything that's going on in the country, and what candidates are proposing, because nobody is proposing any solutions. Nobody's proposing anything good and grounded.
I think the American people just want to stop being pulled down. I feel like people make a lot of promises. They don't keep the promises. And like even in this economy, like right now, it's like with Joe Biden, inflation has gone up, and life feels a little bit hard, especially for most Americans. And it's like there is nothing you can like really promise me that you haven't already. And
Right.
I think that's where most Americans are right now. Like
They want to see action.
they want to see like results.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is the biggest thing. Like them arguing about golf swings and whether you slept with prostitutes or not. Like honestly, and then Joe Biden's son, he's a criminal as well.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And so it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, okay, I don't care about any of that. Like, how can you
Fix the country.
fix the lives of American people
Right.
and stop with the lies?
Right. Yeah.
That's all people want.
Right.
You know, and like, yeah, this is entertaining, but people's lives are at stake.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
What do you say to voters who feel
I mean, but we'll just keep going.
they are worse off
tell the
under
story.
your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do.
Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
President Trump,
Oh.
will
But,
you take
I mean-
any action as
Ooh. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, him restoring Roe v. Wade, like all of this happened during his presidency.
Exactly.
So why now?
Right, exactly. Why mention it now and not have mentioned it before?
Or not
Or-
just
or-
mention it, do something, because
Yeah.
we're losing reproductive rights day by day,
Right.
you know? And I think a lot of people don't realize is that reproductive rights involves more than just women.
Yeah.
You know, you start losing your rights.
It turns into more stuff.
Next thing you know, everybody a slave.
Right, exactly.
With no rights.
Right, but that's one of the main reasons why people say that they don't want to give up their guns, or they're very skeptical about changing gun laws. Because once you start taking away some rights or some liberties or some freedoms, then it's like, especially with this government, it's more. And then it's more and more and more until you don't have anything left.
Because, like, even, I mean, this is healthcare rights.
Right, exactly.
You know? And it's more than just, like, having a baby. It's, like,
Right.
life-saving medicines.
Right.
And basically the government telling you what you can and cannot do with your body.
Right, yeah.
You know, very, very scary. And yes, this happened under Joe Biden. And so whether you're a Democrat or not, like, you gotta think about your future life, and if you have kids, the future of your children. And so him saying these things like, I'm gonna restore Roe v. Wade, but all this happened underneath your presidency.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so it's like, if you voted for him, like, you were lied to,
right?
And your rights were taken away. And so it's like, this is a election where maybe you just can't vote Democrat just because you're a Democrat.
Right.
You know, think of all the things that have happened, how your life has changed, and how, you know, he's making promises now. In the future, will things just be better
more of the same,
worse, or more
right.
of the same? You
right.
know what I mean? And so it's a scary time we're living in, because I'm just looking at how things are now, and all of this stuff is just lies upon lies.
And that's what I've found throughout my life, dealing with politicians, presidential debates, elections, and all this stuff. Everyone runs on stuff that they say that they're going to do, and then they don't do it.
But then,
or they do like a half truth, or they half-ass,
which is a lie,
right?
But also, the biggest thing to me is like riding on the black vote, like using us as, you know, just using us, you know, to further their agenda.
Yeah,
then at the same time do nothing for us.
Everyone has done it.
It's like we're just used,
right.
and that's another thing to take into consideration. Like, oh, you're not black if you don't vote for me. Like, how dare you
right.
say something like that?
Right.
You know, it's just like, I feel like this is bad.
It is bad, but all candidates have pandered
but
to
this is worse.
Pandered to black folks, pandered to black people,
yeah.
you know, in order to get the election. But
so what should we do about it?
I don't know.
What can be done about that? You know, like, I feel like doing the opposite of what you normally do might be the answer. Mm-hmm. But then if you do the same thing you've always done and expect
different results,
yeah. Like, are we the insane ones? You know,
president to slow the climate crisis.
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. He hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line.
I think y'all should apologize to the American people for this shit show.
That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like a shit show. It feels like a dumpster fire. America is going down in flames because we got two presidential candidates that are like children with no real solutions on how to fix this country.
And saying apologize to me.
Right.
Like, no, apologize to the American people. Both of you.
Right.
Shame.
Guys,
Shame.
let us know what you think. What the hell is going on? Leave your thoughts and feelings down below in the comment section. We'd love to hear them. Let's continue this conversation.
Maybe there's a solution.
Maybe there is a solution.
You know, if y'all have any solutions, let us know. Because I feel like it's going to go into the voting booth. It's going to be, it's going to be hard. This is going to be one of the hardest. I'm probably going to be in that voting booth for like 30 minutes. Because usually I'm in there, I have my paper of who I'm voting for and
what they stand on.
And just everything. I could go boop, boop, boop. And I feel like I might have a mental breakdown in the voting booth this time. Because it's like, which way do I go? Which way it is like, I know some people are going to be like, how can you even say that? But people don't know people's lives, especially like with reproductive rights, you know, taken. It's like those are life-saving medications, you know, and I wouldn't be able to function as a human being if I didn't have some of those medications. So I do have to like really think about those things. And some people, they don't realize that. They think, oh, because you're black, you just gotta vote Democrat. Right. And it's like my life hangs in the balance, like literally. So that's something to think about.
Right, absolutely. Well, once again, guys, leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.